It needs to be. Is it red button? Okay, it's red button. Whoa! Look at this thing. No. All right, let's see here. Wow, look at this. It's all different. Don't push the red button. The red button. Let's see, how am I going to do this here? Do. All right, I think that probably works. What happens when I push the cough button? Is that a bad button to push? There. We're not in the mood for buttons today? Okay. All right, let's do it.
Hey, San Diego. It's time we change the conversation on The Answer San Diego. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Here's your host of Change the Conversation, Andrew Gade.
Andrew Gade here, changing conversations. Hey guys, welcome back. As long as you didn't leave or go somewhere, I don't know. Where do people leave? Does the radio ever go away? Does radio waves always fluctuating forever? Yeah. I know, right? They're like, we're not going to this planet.
Just about to, then they hear, oh, it's messed up down there.
Yeah, exactly.
There's one man down there that can fix everything. His name is Andrew Gade.
That's exactly the right. That's 100%. Yeah, they're just sitting around watching. No, I think the world is just like it's a soap opera for aliens. It's one of the many channels they tune into for a while, just to watch. It's like, all right, what's gonna happen here with these guys? Who's gonna be the first one to push the red button? Yeah, Todd was telling me there's a couple extra buttons in the studio today here, and I mean, it's a red button, and it's so tempting. It's the child in me. I'm like, I don't know. It just says, don't push it, but that means must be something really cool happens.
That's right. As tempting it is, I have to say, just don't miss
Okay, any buttons. Okay. Well, and you do a very good job of pressing those buttons. Yes. All right. I'm not going to push your buttons today, Todd. So. No. Oh, we're back in the old school studio. It feels like it's been years since I've been here. This brings back memories, man. And the televisions are off, which is good, so I'm not going to be distracted with all the good news going on around the world and the country here. And I have to correct myself a little from last week. I mentioned that after the elections, that nothing changed. Well, I guess a few things kind of changed. This is something I didn't know last week, but good old Nancy Pelosi is stepping aside as the Speaker of the House. I don't know if that's because she's going to be passing away soon, or maybe she doesn't want her husband to get beat up anymore. I don't know. But 2 decades as the party chief is long enough. But this is what I like what she said here. She said, for me, the hour has come for a new generation to lead the Democratic caucus that I so deeply respect. So I'm going to focus here on a new generation, as in people that are not 80 plus years old. We need younger people making decisions, because they're the ones that are going to be, affected by the decisions that are being made. Obviously, old people, by the time their decisions come to fruition, they'll be gone. So I think that that's a good thing there. So we'll see who else leads it. But again, not much is going to change there. But another thing that changed, I guess the Republicans now secured the 218th seat. Needed to flip the House. So in essence, I guess the Republicans now control the House. And I think the Senate is still controlled by the Democrats. So what does that mean? I guess the Republicans now are talking about some ability to shape some legislation, launch probes, of course, into Biden and his family. And with the slim House majority, there's also potential for legislative chaos. I like how they said there's also the potential for legislative chaos. I'm pretty sure it's pretty chaotic already. And so what's going to end up happening here with the little bit of change that we had is a lot of not change. and also a lot of fighting. Yeah, 'cause that's what government's really good at. That's why I think we should get rid of all of them, because all they do is fight. And back in the day, when you're a kid and you're on the playground, you get in a fight with someone, you both get in trouble. You both go home. Okay, so I think that's what we treat our government like 6-year-olds, because that's how they're behaving. Like a bunch of spoiled, rotten little children. And then, of course, Donald Trump announces he's going to run for president. It doesn't seem like it's a surprise. It seemed that was his plan all along. And, he has a pretty big ego, so he's not going to let something go. So we'll see how that all pans out. But I guess now there's some new slogan, because now he says that he wants to make America great and glorious again. So it's MAGAGA. So they're going to have to change all the hats and add an extra GA on the back of this. So it's no more MAGA, it's MAGAGA. So supposedly they're saying it's going to make people gag. I don't know. It's going to be entertaining to say the least. And we'll see what's going to happen. Personally, I don't know. Maybe we should stop voting for presidents, because it doesn't seem like we have very good options. I've said this in the past, and I might upset some listeners out there. Biden is a political criminal, and Donald Trump is a corporate criminal. They're both criminals, yes, and they both don't care about the average, hardworking, honest person. They care about something else, and it's not us. So nothing's going to change. And again, we really have to look at restructuring government from the bottom up, not the top down. So there you go. And speaking of government, California had all this extra money, billions and billions of extra dollars here, just this last year. And now they're saying that next year we're going to have a $25 billion budget deficit. So that's a pretty big change and shift in a matter of a year. Now, I guess they were saying here that California taxes rich people more than other states. Well, actually, they tax everyone that earns income here more than most states do. And meaning that most of the drop in revenue is because the uber wealthy aren't making as much money as they used to. Oh, darn. Man, I feel so bad. The uber wealthy. How much money you have to be uber wealthy versus just wealthy? Where's the threshold? You're not driving an Uber, so I don't know what that means anymore. But anyways, so California's gonna be broke. So it's gonna be interesting. Maybe and speaking of that too, I never got my gas stimulus check. Is that because they're broke? I don't know. I know some people that got it and some people that didn't get it. I personally think they're picking on small business owners. They're like, yeah, we're not gonna give it to these guys. But anyways, I didn't get my money, and I don't want money from California. I'd rather them just not take my money in the first place, and then they don't have to give it back to me. That's the way I like to look at it. So just stop taxing, and then I get to spend the money where I want. And hopefully that's not on gas. I did change my oil on my Yamaha R1 motorcycle. I finally took it out again here a couple times, so every once in a while I'll have to pay for buy gas. I think this year I put a tank of gas in my Tacoma before I sold it, and I think I did fill up the R1 once. So I've gone to the gas station twice this year. Not bad, for 2022. Maybe next year I might go a couple times as well to the gas station. So it's nice having an electric car. Even though, remember, I'm not ignorant to the fact that the electricity comes from burning natural gas and also from burning coal and things like that too. So it's not all clean energy, and electric cars are not necessarily going to replace gasoline cars. I believe that it's going to be a mix. Hybrids right now are probably the best bet out there for most people as far as affordability as well too. And the affordability, it's going to bring us right into this, right? Well, California's going to be broke, and also come to find out that U.S. household debt climbed at the fastest annual pace since 2008. Here in the third quarter of the year, with credit card balances surging. So in essence, we kind of been wondering and talking to people, where's everyone getting all this money from? Companies are taking advantage, the inflation, everyone's charging us more. Of course, the government's going to blame, someone else for it. Companies are profiting right now. They're profiting of the situation. And then remember, inflation is rising prices. Well, who sets prices? Companies, corporations selling products and services. And of course, then if they increase their price, then they call it inflation. But at the same time, their profits are also going up extremely high, and they're making a lot of money off of it, meaning that they're taking advantage of us. Yes, that's what's happening here. Who would have thought? But it's not a good sign when you see that people are, in essence, indebting themselves more. They're financing it because you start getting used to a certain level of spending. You get used to a certain lifestyle, and all of a sudden, when your income now is not sufficient to be able to pay your bills, what do? You start racking them up in your credit cards. So this is going to be interesting how this pans out here, especially now that we're seeing situations where a lot of people are getting laid off of work, right? I mean, I know everyone was giving Elon Musk a hard time, like, oh, I can't believe that he's firing half of Twitter's employees and this and that. It's like, well, okay, first off, guys, Twitter is not profitable. So you've got a lot of employees and you can't pay them, you're not making any money. So you shouldn't get so mad at Elon Musk for that. I mean, Mark Zuckerberg with Meta, good old Facebook parent company, they're laying off 10,000 people, and they're like, well, at least Mark Zuckerberg apologized. What does that mean anything? Like, so Elon Musk didn't apologize, and Mark Zuckerberg's like, sorry, I'm gonna lay you off, and Musk is like, see you later, good luck. I mean, it's the same thing. You're not getting a paycheck, even though they're gonna still pay the Twitter employees. I think they'll for 6 months or 9 months, they're gonna pay them still. So sounds like Musk is being pretty nice to these laid off Twitter employees. And then Amazon, same thing. Amazon's laying off 10,000+ people. No one's crying foul over that. So why does everyone pick on Elon Musk so much? I mean, even as Senator Ed Markey, I don't know who this guy is, but he's some senator, obviously, probably an old guy. He said to Elon Musk, fix your companies or Congress will. Congress is gonna fix Elon Musk's companies. Because it seems like Congress is also broken, and also you don't legally have the ability of fixing anything. And I'd love to see what your ideas are for you, quote unquote, fixing your companies, because actually Elon Musk's companies are not broken. I mean, he just purchased Twitter, and Twitter's a big mess, so we'll see what happens with that. Oh wait, here we go. Ed Markey, he's the senator from Massachusetts. I guess he chastised Elon Musk on this a week ago after the billionaire had a snarky response to the lawmaker's request for information about Twitter's new verification policy. I guess this is a quote here. Perhaps it's because your real account sounds like a parody, Musk tweeted this last Sunday morning after Markey shared a recent letter he sent criticizing the company's new $8 per month Twitter Blue subscription. And then Musk goes on to say, and why does your PP have a mask? I guess that's your profile picture. Have a mask. Musk added a few hours later, referring to Markey's profile picture, which shows the senator wearing a face covering. So Elon Musk was obviously making fun of this congressman, and the congressman obviously had hurt his feelings, and so he had to snap back at good old Elon Musk and say, if you don't fix your companies, then Congress is going to fix it for you. Yeah. That's exactly how he sounds when he talks. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But yeah, I mean, we can't get away from, I really hope that we're not going to try and test the waters here of World War III. That doesn't sound like fun. See, people are going to end up dying, and that's also not good for the economy unless you work in the military industrial complex, and you make weapons and you make tanks and aircraft and things like that too. So remember, war is a bad thing, and that's not going to be good. So after we take a short little break here, we'll come back and talk about all this fun of the stuff happening around the world.
Stay tuned for more of Change the Conversation with Andrew and Gabe when we continue next, right here on The Answer San Diego. Welcome back to Change the Conversation on The Answer San Diego. Time now for more compelling content concerning the needs of San Diego. And here's your host, Andrew Gabe.
Yes, compelling content. Your host, Andrew Gate here. Yes, I know, it's so exciting. Yeah, so getting back to war. War's bad, okay? Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, can't we all just get along? I mean, whatever happened to that? I think weren't the hippies, didn't they start that movement back in the days? Was that? Yeah, see, that's the music. See, and Cape praise. We're here, right? I mean, we should be praying and stuff more, and shooting each other less, I guess. Holding hands and hugging. Now that COVID's over, well, I don't know if it's over. Sorry, the C word. I'm gonna get in trouble for saying that. Now we can hold hands again and hug. Yeah, I think it's legal now, so that's a good thing. But speaking of the C word, I guess Chinese people are protesting and revolting against some of the C-word lockdowns in multiple cities. So, they have a zero COVID policy in China. So, yeah, good luck with that. So they're locking down all these places. In essence, their citizens are being stuck in their homes. I think they even locked down Disneyland, which is a bad thing. Hey, you're stuck in Disneyland for the next week. Now, does that mean you get free rides and free food, or do you have to pay for it? Because if you have to pay for it, then that might be an issue. But anyways, so Chinese people are not happy right now, okay? The North Koreans, they're going on, I don't know what they're trying to do right now, but supposedly they fired more missiles than ever before, just in the past, just over a month, including an ICBM that showed a potential ability to reach anywhere in the United States. So North Korea is pretty much now shooting missiles all over the place. U.S. and South Korea are doing drills together to show force. Again, why are we in South Korea? Pull out. Get out of that country. Get out of Ukraine. Get out of Japan. Get out. Let them figure out themselves. If North Korea wants to beat up South Korea, then let it be. Okay? That's their problem. We need to not be engaging ourselves and getting ourselves into other global conflicts. That's what starts world wars, you see? It goes from a regional conflict between a couple countries, can't get along, to a world conflict. That's a bad thing, see? So let the regional things happen if they want to happen, because we can only control so many things. Because remember, this whole mess in Ukraine, Zelensky, he's a puppet. He was placed there by the Western powers and whatever, this and that, Ukraine is not even a real country, practically. I mean, it's a joke, okay? But now, this is what's ironic. I guess Zelensky is now open to peace talks with Russia. I read this was now well over a week ago. It's been over 9 months of war. And now finally, Ukraine is saying, well, I guess we should sit down and probably talk about some peace talks. Because this came now after supposedly, they're saying here, between Russian and Ukrainian soldiers killed or wounded since the February 24th invasion is likely to have reached over 200,000 killed or wounded. Some 40,000 civilians have also been killed or injured in the war. So you're talking about almost 250,000 people that have been killed or injured in this war, quote unquote, which Russia calls it a special military operation. That should never have happened. Ukraine knew it couldn't defend itself against Russia. It was not going to win. They should have sat down and talked with Russia from the get-go and surrendered the area and the lands that Russia wanted, and it could have done peacefully. They made a mistake, okay? And this is what we're seeing now. People died from it. It's also been a big profitable thing. I mean, the United States has dumped billions, tens of billions of dollars in the situation, as well as Europe. It's also caused a lot of quote-unquote inflation issues, even though that's more of an excuse than reality when it comes to the United States, but when it comes to Europe. So Europe is also paying the price for engaging and trying to help Ukraine. And even they were saying here that many Western officials are even skeptical that Putin will be open soon to a settlement that involves Russian withdrawal from occupied regions. It's not going to happen. I guess that's one of the key demands of Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine. And they're saying Ukraine cannot and does not want to negotiate. Therefore, the goals of the Russian Federation will be carried out by continuing the special military operation. Okay, so Russia's pretty much saying, we're going to keep doing what we're doing because, no, we're not going to go by Ukraine's terms. No, we're going to go by Russia's terms. Yeah, we're the ones that are making the decisions here, and we don't like them, so we're going to keep blowing you guys up. And let's see here. Now, Ukraine pretty much has, they have rolling blackouts. They have no power. They have no water. And so, yeah, not really a great place to live. So good job, Ukraine. You guys, by quote-unquote trying to save your country, you destroyed your country by not working with Russia. Yeah, congratulations. You guys really messed up big time. And you know what? Unfortunately, this should be something that people learn from. Yeah. And if we don't learn from our mistakes, then we're going to continue making them, which is why, again, I'm worried about this World War III thing. So again, America needs to get out of other people's business. Maybe we should start investing some of the money. We spend almost $1 trillion a year on our military. Maybe we should start investing some of that money in infrastructure and helping people buy homes and things like that. I don't know. Just an idea I'm going to throw out there. And then, of course, there was that little bomb that landed in Poland. And, of course, initially they were saying, oh, Russia fired this missile to land in Poland. And come to find out, it was Ukraine. So Ukraine bombed Poland. Now, they were saying that if Russia bombed Poland, that NATO would have to intervene, and that would potentially start a world war. Now, what happens if Ukraine bombs Poland? Nothing. Just a slap on the wrist. Oh, well, it was Ukraine. No big deal. What do you mean it's no big deal? So Ukraine is so sloppy that they can't figure out where their missiles are going? And they're firing on their neighbor. That's kind of interesting. I'm surprised that people didn't make a bigger deal about that, because love is a double standard. It's like, well, we'll let our friends shoot bombs at us, but we won't let our enemies shoot bombs at us, because that would be unacceptable. And again, Ukraine's not my friend. And I guess Russia's not my friend either, really. I don't know. I haven't really met them. So, yeah. But anyways, so yeah, I think we should just learn a lesson and let them continue to shoot each other and bomb each other and get out of their mess. And then hopefully they sit down at one point in time and shake hands and hug and find whatever kind of peace or negotiations that can work. And yeah, getting back a little closer to home here. Yeah, see, I don't know if they'll always love. I don't know if it's love going to be a factor in the Ukraine-Russia situation. But if Whitney Houston could maybe she should go over there, and she can. There you go. There you go. Oh man, see, there you go. Maybe we need to start blasting that music into Ukraine and Russia, and maybe all of a sudden the soldiers will put their weapons down and they'll all just start love each other. Yes, be lovey-dovey. Oh man, yep. Actually, supposedly it's very wet over there. Oh man, Todd, I love Todd over here. Yeah, see, I love Todd. See, there's more. Let's see what this music's doing to us right here. Yeah. All right, for the rest of our broadcast.
He's twirling me right now. He's picking me up off my feet.
Yeah, exactly. If you only guys could see it right now. For the rest of this broadcast, we're just gonna listen to music, guys. Oh man, yeah, and maybe that's what our president. Maybe he needs to get some more Whitney in his life. But that he was gonna forgive the student loan. Remember that he was gonna forgive that student loan forgiveness program. I guess supposedly now it's in doubt because the federal appeals court issued an injunction preventing the government from discharging any debt while it considers a lawsuit to end the policy. So that's going to all be held up now in the courts, I guess. So we'll see. Which again, it's not fair. You can't sit there and pick and choose who you forgive loans for students. But what about students that have already paid their loans? That are more responsible. What about businesses that took out loans? That people that didn't go to college and incur all this student debt, but instead opened a business. Again. So to me, the best way to do it is don't pay off anyone's loans. If they took out a loan, let them pay it back. Again, you can decrease taxes and help reduce the cost of living so we have more money to be able to pay our loans off. That would be a big help. There you go. And then even, I mentioned this on one of the shows here, but Gavin Newsom, he originally, and this was right before the election, he was talking about holding up like $1 billion in state homeless funding earlier in the month, I think it was here. And he was pretty much saying, we need to see better results. We're not keep funding all these programs if we're not going to see better results. And then after the election, I guess he decided, well, he's going to free up the money now. So it looks like it was pretty much a potential apparent political stunt when this hold the money up here, because even then, the money's not going to help. The situation is only going to get worse. Even if you come out with a plan and say, oh, well, we're going to estimate that by investing money in these programs, it's going to reduce homelessness. It's not going to work. If you look at how much money we spend in homelessness, it's only increased the problem. More money, more problems. Yes, more money, more homeless, because you keep feeding them, and then they get reliant on it. And when humans, unfortunately, when they get reliant on something, they keep coming back for more. It's maybe a human issue. So maybe the problem is we're dealing with humans. And then here's another failed attempt here, which I like the idea, but supposedly a new program in San Diego will be the first time the city has helped middle-income residents buy a home instead of renting. So I read this, I'm like, all right. The program will provide cash for down payments, closing costs. I guess it's been apparent for a long time now that the current housing market is way out of reach for middle income in San Diego. It's like, duh. Hello there. They're saying now that approximately almost like 46,000 middle-income households in the city of San Diego could benefit from this new program. So, wow, that's pretty good, right? 46,000 middle-income families. So this new pilot program would start with $6 million and help as many as 30 families. And no funding source has been secured. So, yeah, that's 30 families is a long way off from 46,000 families drop in the bucket, and we don't even have the money for that. So, yeah, I wish you guys good luck with that situation, because the problem we have is that we have a lot of people. I mean, I guess the U.S. population was at 200 million here 55 years ago. Now we're almost at 400 million. So we've about doubled our population in the United States in the past 55 years. And I guess in 1804, there was less than 1 billion people on the planet. 1927, it crested 2 billion. And I guess here just not too long ago, last week, the world population now reached 8 billion people. Just 11 years after it passed 7 billion. So again, the problem we have, guys, is we have too many people on this planet fighting for food, for resources, for housing. So it's a supply and demand issue here. You lower the demand and the supply there's more supply. But I want to leave off on one last little interesting thing I read here. Subaru said it has no plans to build electric cars in the United States because it claims it cannot compete with McDonald's $20 an hour starting wage. So Subaru is not going to build electric cars in the United States because of McDonald's. So they're going to blame McDonald's. I love it. So no longer blame McDonald's for obesity. We're going to blame him for no electric cars from Subaru. Anyways, guys, love you guys out there. Change the conversation. I'll catch you guys this week.
Thanks so much for listening to Change the Conversation with Andrew King. Andrew invites you to join him each Saturday at 8:30 for more balanced and fresh perspective concerning the needs of San Diego.